he was an enormously powerful man, a media mogul who created the most powerful news organization, still the most watched news organization, Fox News. And he was feared and loved, and he was a complicated, mercurial man with a white-hot temper, and he was paranoid and vicious in many ways, but he was also devoted to his staff, to his institution. There were a lot of people who were devoted to him. And he fell prey, he fell victim to his own compulsions and was revealed as a serious and serial sexual harasser. And his fall at Fox News, in the course of a very short period of time, Gretchen Carlson, one of his major journalists, was fired and responded by suing both the network and Ailes. And that started a sequence of events which in like 3 weeks brought an end to his entire career. And this movie just tells the tale of this precipitous, almost Shakespearean collapse. Ironically, at the very time when Donald Trump was rising in American politics, and he was nominated to the as candidate for the Republicans for president at the very time when Roger fell. And it's one of the great ironies of this movie. The script, I mean, the script is the great roadmap for a role like this. Also, the actors that I was working with, these women were fantastic. I was supported by all the artisans, you know, the makeup artist and the Colleen Atwood, the costume designer who made me this other body. So I was physically transformed, and it was just a matter of playing these scenes and understanding what my role was in the machinery of this storytelling. There was an extraordinary feeling of love around everywhere. It sounds corny, but there was a great female energy about this entire project. A lot of it emanating from Charlize. The movie never would have happened without her. And even if she had not played the lead role, I think she would have created this extraordinary culture of commitment and passion about the whole project. It was a very exciting day. I mean, we were all in this to act great material and have an enormous impact. Margot and I both understood this film, this scene is going to be the center of this entire film. This scene is almost going to define the dilemma. It's got to be a very disturbing scene. One thing that makes it so disturbing is the first half of it is so amiable. And Roger is so supportive and encouraging and reassuring and kind. And then he says, "Stand up and give me a twirl." And things start to change. And it's got almost the structure of a scene from a horror film. And yet very little happens. She exits that office, and the look on her face, which Margot plays so brilliantly, is something just happened to me, and I don't even know what it is. But something has just been taken from me, and I don't know how. And that one scene is the story of how harassment works. I thought it was perfection. I mean, it underwent a lot of changes, but when I read it, it seemed like, don't change a word. It's an extraordinary. Charles Randolph, our writer, he wrote The Big Short. And if you remember that film and how by some miracle, it made that impenetrably complicated financial crisis of 2008, made it completely comprehensible. Mm-hmm. And also showed you exactly how it impacted people on a very personal level. So he's just a remarkable storyteller, and he does the same thing with what happened in this very complex crisis at Fox, and miraculously tells everybody's story, including Roger's supporters and defenders. I had worked with him before in one of those crazy comedy films, The Campaign, a few years ago with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. He's wonderful. He looks, he concentrates, he goes from one detail to another, and he never lets anything slip. Months before we started shooting, I got a call from him saying, John, don't cut the hair in the back of your head. I noticed that Roger just let his hair grow. We can do that with fake hair, but I would love to have it with your own hair. Well, look at the film. Look at that shaggy, ugly hair scraggling down the back of my neck. You know, it's wonderful when a director makes you feel like you're in great hands. Like any little doubt you've had, he's already thought of it. That's Jay. None. I mean, I just feel elated by doing good work. You know, I know it sounds strange, but that's actors for you. You know, you'll play a scene where you stab a child to death, and they say cut, and you think, wow, was that great? I mean, maybe we're all sick as sick neurotics, but that's, you know, it's like the creative process. We're in it for the impact.
Great.
And if the impact is good and strong and important, then it makes you feel wonderful.